This is Michael Lozano reporting from San Bernardino, where New American Media has put together this press briefing on the Affordable Care Act and its implications on mental health services for Californians throughout the state.
You look at California and you see that 31% of 18 to 34-year-olds lack insurance, and that's 4 to 5 percentage points higher than the national average. So we have a problem here in California. We know that approximately 1 in 5 young adults between the ages of 18 and 25 experienced mental disorders in the last year alone. That doesn't count 2 years ago, 4 years ago. Just in the last year, 1 out of every 5 young adults is experiencing these problems. And like some of the other presenters have talked about, in low-income communities and communities of color, around, especially in a place like the Inland Empire, which faces many economic and social challenges, mental health issues are huge.
To what extent is Obamacare actually going to help really expand access to health care for young people and, of course, for their families? So it's using the lens of youth to tell a story about the Affordable Care Act.
Last summer, my parents received a letter saying that I had been kicked off their insurance, and they were a little bit confused because, I'm still in school, so they were assuming that I would be covered till I'm 26. But since both of them are retired, they said that it was different. So I don't have any health benefits, dental, vision, none of that. So they told me that I need to apply for Medi-Cal.
How many days are you supposed to wait until you find out if you're eligible or not?
45 days.
So how many days has it been so far?
2 weeks.
And so what are some of the specific worries that come to mind being without insurance right now?
Well, it is flu season, it's cold, so I'm like, what if I get sick? What am I supposed to do? That's like my main concern.
So there's been this myth, maybe perpetuated by the insurance industry, that young people don't want or don't even need health care. Is that true?
Right. No, it's not true. In fact, that is a myth. We know that young people have plenty of health needs. We know that 16% of young people, in fact, have pre-existing conditions. The truth is, if you look at the data, you look at the polls, you find that, in fact, if you look at a poll that YI commissioned, that Young Invincibles commissioned, you'll find that only 5% of people who didn't have health insurance said they didn't have it because they didn't want it. And really, the root cause is that they can't afford it or they don't know what the options are. As they learn more, as they see how the options are affordable, as they figure out what everything looks like, then they're like, oh yeah, that seems like a good idea. I can get on board with that.
And that really represents one of the most significant challenges for us is how do we get them to apply? How to get families to apply and how to get young people to apply.
Once they receive the insurance, that's one thing. But then what about navigating? How I'm going to get through the system? What services am I going to be provided? Where am I to go with this card that I have now? And so for an adult, can you imagine how difficult that would be for a young adult in their 20s, 21, 22 years of age? Where do I go now that I have this, which I think is beautiful? My daughter at the time, she was in college, she was caught in the middle. She was too old to be on my insurance, but then she couldn't afford insurance, so she went through her 4 years going to a university with no insurance, pretty much. So I'm glad that the Affordable Care now will actually capture that group of young adults to be able to have insurance.
One of the lessons learned, just to be aware. To be aware of what you're capable of doing, because I know that some people don't have their parents, right there beside them. So just to take the initiative and just be aware of the things that you can do and the capabilities that you have when it comes to health insurance, and try and get as much information as possible on it.